Can you introduce yourself and tell us how long you've lived in Putnam?
Oh, my name is Bob Garceau, and I'm 86 years old, and I've lived in Putnam my whole life.
How old were you in 1955?
16.
Can you describe the day the flood hit, what it was like?
As I recollect, it was on a Friday. Some people may say it was on a Saturday, I'm not sure, but I remember Friday morning, that's when I found out that the Quinnebog was overflowing. Okay, there was a number of things that were occurring at that time. Probably found out on the radio, it's like, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But that's about it. But, actually what had happened that morning, you want me to tell you a little bit about what happened?
By all means.
Okay. I took my bike and I went down and I took a ride down Mill Street. I live on Mill Street, okay, at the end of Mill Street. Not at the end, almost at the end. And I went down to the bottom of the Mill Street and went down on Green Street. I took a left. I saw all the water and I went, ooh, that don't look too good. So I backed up and I went up behind the town hall and drove all the way to the end of Church Street and Pomfret.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I saw the Pomfret Street Bridge pretty much destroyed.
Oh, wow.
So when I see the picture taken from the other side,
Mm-hmm.
I always think about that because I was over on that side. So then I went back home. In the meantime, things were happening. Now my sister, who was 7 at the time, she had stayed overnight on the other side of the river, right down in this area here. And my father went down to pick her up with his car, drove back, couldn't get over the bridge. And as my sister said it this morning, she said, I asked if it was her that he had gone over and picked up. She said, yes, it was me. I was very, very vaguely remember the water and thought the bridge is going to give out when we were on it.
Oh, wow.
And he brought her home, all right? Now what I did, when I got back home from the visit down at the, down on Pomfret Street, I went to the end of Mill Street. I walked. I didn't have my bike. I walked. And right in front of where Wise's Market used to be, there was a fire truck. A lot of explosions going on over in this area here with the
Magnesium.
Yeah, magnesium. And all of a sudden, there was just a series of explosions. I mean, boom, boom, boom. And the fire truck got into reverse, and he put it in reverse, and boom, right down the street, and I ran all the way home.
Oh, wow.
I ran all the way home, and I was, and all I remember is spending most of the night hearing the explosions, and I was in the Boy Scouts at the time, so I ended up becoming a volunteer. Thought I'd turn that over to the Historical Society.
Thank you.
And I also got passes too, and these are things that you keep for whatever reason. Here's an official pass signed by Ducharme.
Ah,
And this one here, I'm not sure. That might be Bolak, I'm not sure. I can't tell from that one.
it is Bolak.
That is Bolak,
Yeah.
and this is Sergeant Kenton.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the police issued these?
Yes, and you can see John Dempsey's name under the...
Yeah. Official.
And they had me, bringing messages from one side to the other. I was in the Boy Scouts at the time. So I don't remember much about that part. I know that I got across the Quinnebog right behind the electrical place here. They had a foot ramp, a footbridge, and that's how I got back and forth. I don't remember a heck of a lot of the things that went on after that. I mean, I went into my senior year at high school, and then the following year, I wasn't even here for the first anniversary. I joined the Air Force in July 10th the following year, and I was gone for 4 years. For 4 years, I was not at home, so I lost everything that happened in between there.
Right.
Yeah. But that's about it, really. That's the way I wrote it up, anyway.
Okay. Okay, so you said, what happened to your neighborhood, your home and your neighborhood?
No, nothing. Everything, we were, Mill Street is high enough that we stayed away from the water. Well, you know where Mill Street is, right?
Yes.
You got Mill Street and Church, so we were away from the water, well away from the water.
Did anyone you know need to be rescued?
Not that I know of, other than my father bringing my sister over.
Okay. How did you and your loved ones stay safe?
Well, at that time there was myself, my brother, Phil, he was 3 years younger than me. At the time, he was 13. Jean Paul was 10, and Anne Marie was 7. And we were just staying home, really, staying in the house. And it was an overwhelming experience because we knew that there was a flood, but we didn't know, who else was being affected by it.
Right.
There was no internet. There was nothing. You could listen to the radio, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, we stayed safe just by staying home, and my mother made sure we didn't go wander around too much.
Uh-huh. What do you remember about how the town came together afterwards?
Well, that's the problem there. See, because there's the disconnect. Because I go into high school, I get my senior year done, I join the service, and I have no clue what happened after those 4 years. I come back and it's a new Putnam. It's different.
Okay, so which leads me to, how did the flood change Putnam in your eyes?
Well, it changed, in my eyes, it changed the whole downtown area. When I say the downtown area, I mean the Manhasset Village. I mean that not only the Manhasset Village, but right now where the police department is, and then the courthouse.
Yes.
Because there were people living there like Mike Duffy, and I believe there are a few other people that were living in that area that lost their houses, And of course you had businesses along Bridge Street on both sides. There was a couple dealerships there and everything. So what it did is it really, and then of course this particular area here, down here where Rennick's Field, did I get that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where they had that carnival that weekend, and the carnival got wiped out, and now that's a shopping center. I mean, but those are the changes that I see personally. Nothing in my area. Everything really was in the flood area.
What do you think people don't realize about what you went through?
Well, what they don't realize is that, conversation I had with Dick Salvas a couple of weeks ago was that as we get older, these memories, this history will be forgotten unless it's documented. Because, Dick Salvas is an expert on the Thompson area, right? He and I sit down and talk every once in a while about Putnam, and I'm 86, so I'm not going to be around for the 80th, I don't think.
No.
You never know.
And that's the reason that we thought it was important to do this. Because we were remembering as children, but we're not going to be here.
That's right.
These memories are going to be gone.
Right. And my children don't realize what happened at that time. They have no idea. They see the pictures and all that.
Yeah. Is there one memory from that time, good or bad, that sticks with you?
No, not really. I mean, it was the fact that everything was so fluid. I mean, it was just it was surreal. It was surreal. When I think about it now, and I think about it every year right around that time,
Right.
I think back and go, God, how did it happen? And then of course you got the dam now and when I drive across the dam, I think about the fact that they put that up after we got wiped out down here.
Right. No, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And then finally, anything else you'd like to share that you think people should know?
Well, I think people should know that we, Putnam at one time was spread out quite, broadly down in the downtown area, in the Manhasset Village, had a lot of homes down there. And of course the flood destroyed all of that. So it destroyed a lot. It moved a lot of people. That's what created the North End, really, because that's where I live now, in the North End.
Okay.
That's where my wife's mother and father ended up building up in the North End, and eventually the North End kept growing and growing and growing all the way up to back, I think, to Lattice Street, where Tony Falzerato lives. So all those houses, became, Manhantan moved up there, I guess you might say.
Right. Wow. Thank you.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
sharing with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I was looking forward to it.
Good. Good. Thank you.